Welcome to Just Beachy with Deb
and Wendy.
Growing up in the 70s in our Toronto Beach neighborhood was a time unlike any other. Bell-bottom pants, high handlebars and banana seats, water buffalo sandals, crazy adventures, and home with the streetlights. We have lots of stories to share.
So sit back and join us as we reminisce about the people and the times that shaped our lives.
Hey, welcome back to week 4. We made it. And we have fans. We have people that are clamoring to hear our next podcast, which is...
It's very exciting for people to come forward. And Deb and I were kind of goofing around before this one. And I kind of come up with a bit of a theme song for us. I think we need to
jingle.
Put it to music.
She's got a jingle.
Oh, a jingle, that's it. So it's kind of like, welcome to Just Beachy with Deb and Wendy. Just as simple as that.
Nothing
right?
rhymes with Wendy, though. You gotta do Wendy and Deb, or I don't know. We're working on it.
I like it though. I thought it was a little catchy.
I think it's very catchy. Kind of like the Mumps, but it's very, very. I agree. I think it's very good.
Like the Mumps. Oh yeah.
Nothing dread. Not like COVID. You know, it's just a little communicable disease. That's all.
No, I do have to say it was very exciting on Friday when one of my friends reached out and kind of said, "Hey, where is it? I don't see it up yet." And it's kind of like Deb was not home, and she's the pro at this, and it's just like, Deb, you got to get home and post our podcast.
I have a life, Wendy. I have a life. I was out marrying people.
True.
In far off places.
But I have to say thank you to Wendy. Shout out there for
hi, Wendy,
being so involved and enjoying our podcast, obviously. So that was nice. That was really
I'm getting
nice.
all kinds of fan PMs from people from the past saying that they were killing themselves laughing and enjoying it and can't wait for the next one. So here we are. We're back. And we have followers on all platforms. You'll find us on. We post to the timeline on YouTube. And that's where you'll find it without monetization or commercials. And we also have a Facebook page that Wendy was kind enough to begin last week. And it's easy. It's Just Beachy with Wendy. No, Deb and Wendy. Just Beachy -Y.
Right.
So if you search that, you'll find something similar. You'll probably find us. And you posted some old pictures of us.
Yes.
I'm going to get you back. So I'm going to be searching through my photo collection and find something equally as old. But yeah.
And then we want to make this page interactive too, right? So if you have a memory that you want to share,
from the beach or from wherever you grew up.
Yeah, from the 70s, whatever.
Keep it clean.
Yeah.
No nudity.
Because I think we can nix them if we don't like them. But no,
that's right.
But yeah, even a picture of yourself from the 70s, because there's a lot more that I'll share, but I just wanted to get us started. So,
well, yeah, she's on a mission now.
Yes,
she's got it started. Stay tuned.
Maybe we should post our years through high school photos, which were not very nice.
Have we talked about Graham trimming my bangs? That's a whole podcast in itself. She never got them straight, and they kept getting shorter and shorter until I had a fringe. And it was just before picture day, so they couldn't grow out. It was because of picture day she did it.
Well, I can remember the time I trimmed your bangs, and I did a really good job.
Yes, you did.
And the next time you wanted me to trim them, you came back to me and asked, and I said, sure. But I believe the next day you had to go out and get a haircut to match how short I cut your bangs. It was not good, and you were not happy with me for a little while after that, if I remember. I do cut your bangs again.
No. Graham would put tape. She'd put tape across my forehead, and one time she used a bowl. I didn't have money to go to the hair. No, one time I went to get a shag haircut. I don't think you were responsible for that. And it was like the 70s, and it was a shag, and I came back almost like with little teeny hair and shaggy at the back, and I was really upset. Because I was young, and I guess that was a shag cut, probably right out of London. And Mom said, "What's the matter?" I said, "I hate my hair." She said, "It's cute." I said, "I don't like it." So she marched me back to the hairdresser and said, "You fix this." And so I ended up with like almost not a buzz cut, but it was very short, very short. And my hair is fine. And she did. She fixed the back. And I never went back there again. I was so humiliated.
Oh, man.
And I wasn't going to let Graham touch my hair. So, I was stuck. Or you. So, so we're at the end of summer.
Already.
I can't believe this. The X started on the weekend.
Yep.
We're going on Labor Day.
Yeah, not me.
I haven't been there for years.
I live in Guelph, so it's a bit of a journey to get there.
It's a bit of a jaunt.
Just a little bit.
But yeah, it closes early, so that's a good thing for me. Yay, we can go home early. And I go through all the buildings and the food building and all the horse palace. I love the horse palace, and just smelling the air and being amidst the equestrians. And then there's also the agricultural building across the way that you see all the sheep and connection to Mother Earth and to farms and rural
definitely.
things. It's good. But that's kind of my pace. And the guys can go and do the rides or whatever they want to do, and I'll play the birthday game and go to the Midway.
Well, and we were talking about, I know probably in our first podcast, we talked about the X a little bit. And how we, as neighborhood kids, went together with Deb being the eldest, with another neighbor, not too far behind Deb, but they were kind of in charge of looking after us. There must have been maybe, I would say, 10 of us. And I don't think we ever got lost.
No.
But yeah, at the end of the school year, everyone would get a free admission to the CNE in the report card. And Mom, I think, to give us each or at least 3 of us, $5 each to go, like that was a lot of money for her to do that,
yeah,
right?
It was, yeah.
And plus TTC fare. But we always either came back with a quarter or something.
Well, she would make a lunch for us too.
Oh,
to
okay.
Take in her, yeah.
Oh, but when we went with Mom, I can remember she would buy that lemonade that was in the wax carton.
Oh, yeah.
And she'd ask for Dixie cups or whatever. And we would sit on a lawn and probably have the picnic lunch with that lemonade. I can still taste it, and I can still see that wax carton. I think it was striped. It was yellow and white stripes.
The booth was right beside the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
She always liked the caramel popcorn.
Yes.
If we went, we'd have to bring her back some.
Yes.
That was her treat.
And if we went with her, we would spend hours in the International Building getting high off the lavender that circulated in the air.
It was pungent. I don't know how the person worked there all day without keeling over.
No, there was a lot of lavender.
There was a lot of lavender.
Yeah.
But it was it probably cleared out her lungs and was good for her health.
And then I can remember once going with my grandfather, who was a very astute man. Plus, he spoiled me rotten. I think I was his favorite, but I'd never say that out loud. Oh,
I think you were.
Sorry.
I think you were. I don't think there's any question about that. Grampy loved you best.
But I can remember going with him one year, and I must have been staying with him and Grammy for the weekend, and it was a last-minute thing. But he stood and watched the birthday game, I would say, for about 10 minutes. And just watching people play and seeing how it worked. And I think he won me, once he figured it out, like 3 prizes from it. Because once he figured it out, it was no holds barred. I don't think he did any other games, but I wish he had told me the magic of winning the birthday game, because otherwise I never won. I was thinking about the food at the X too. I think I always look forward to the hot dog on a stick, which I think in later years, it kind of lost its magic. It didn't taste as good as when you were a kid for some reason. But recently on Instagram, I saw Jennifer Valentine and her daughter. I guess they got early access to all the food at the X and showing everything that they were eating. And it's like, man, it's come a long way. I remember the days of Hershey's in the food building, right? How many chocolate bars did you get for like a stupid amount of money? Like $2, $3?
For like 16 chocolate bars.
Yeah, you get tons of chocolate bars.
Yeah.
Double Bubble. I don't know if they're still there. Of course, Tiny Tom.
I'll let you know.
Tiny Tom Donuts. Tim. Oh my gosh. Tiny Tim Donuts. No, it's Tom.
Is it Tom?
It's Tiny Tom.
Tiny Tim is from...
It's a singer.
Is Dickens. That's Dickens. I didn't know. He went on after Christmas Carol and went on to a donut dynasty. Who knew? Little donuts, like little Tiny Tim. You get
Yeah,
little
that's why
crackers.
they had the bamboo cane toys things as you left the exhibition.
It was all owned by Tiny Tim in the background. He owned the whole thing.
Anyways, Tiny Tom Donuts, and they're still there. And I think they only work that, I guess, the exhibitions, right? And you'll see them in little fairs and everything else. But I don't even know if they are Tiny Toms.
We went out to lunch at Swiss Chalet recently, and they had that as part of their dessert menu. You get 10 little tiny donuts with sauce that you can dip. And all reports were that they were excellent, but they will never taste like the exhibition donuts.
No, that's a treat for sure. I'd hate to think what the price is now for those. It is 2024 after all, but I'm sure they still
I'll
sell.
let you know when I go.
And then just we always left with something too. I don't know how many of you remember back then, and I don't think they have it now, but there was all those carts at the exits of vendors selling stuff. And every year I would leave with
the
a
concession
bamboo
stands.
cane with a stuffed dog or some sort of toy on it. And I think it was like $5. Or maybe that was even too much back then. I don't know. But I can still remember those bamboo canes, and I kept them around
you wouldn't
forever.
see them anywhere else, right? And
No.
there are all kinds of things attached to them, like, little toys, little games. It was like Christmas. We got to get something here. And little flags, all the things that you couldn't get in stores.
No, they were
Or that
unique.
we didn't see in stores.
And then the one year, I think I must have been, 16, definitely in my dorky years, because I can remember buying the invisible dog leash.
Oh, God, I
And
remember
it was like,
you even had a name for it.
oh, I couldn't tell you what it was now, but it was like plastic nylon that was braided. And I can still see it. It looked like a harness and had a leash that was,
And there was a wire in it.
yeah. So it looked like you were walking a dog. And I'm walking up and down Scarborough Road thinking, hey, look at me. I have an invisible dog. And like kind of running with it like it was getting away from me. And I think, oh my God. People must have thought like, oh God, Wendy.
They thought you were charming and endearing. Look at that, Wendy.
That was
She's
before
got
my
an invisible
Faircalls and
dog.
Minor days, obviously, because I never would have done that back then.
No, you were too cool then. Too cool by then.
Oh,
With the flippy hair.
yeah. Oh gosh. But
there's
I
so
wasn't
many-
a ride person though.
No, me either.
Anything that left the ground, no. But I did do the caterpillar because that was just kind of like up and down in a circle that went forward and backwards. And I think near the end of the ride, a cover went over, and that was about as adventurous I got on any rides at the X.
And you would be deaf by the end of it, too, because the music was so loud. And it was like action music. Oh, you know what I loved was you had the gun and you aim at the hole across from you and the balloon attached, and it would be a race to see who filled up the balloon first. I loved that game. I was very good at it. Of course, I was playing against kids that were like 12 years younger than me, but I was really good. I beat them all.
And then just the shows that we went to. I can remember
Oh, and
going with one of my high school
I was
friends
just going to
during
say
my
the grandstand.
yeah, the grandstand, my Bay City roller days. Oh my God. Yeah,
That was
God.
like Wendy, if she could marry one, she would have at age, 12?
I was supposed to. I must have been 15 to 17 years old at the time. I even used to go to Yorkville when they were in town one summer recording an album, and me and a few friends would stand at the gate, and we did see them a few times driving in and out. But we were such
That's exciting.
fanatics. And I think I saw them at Maple Leaf Gardens too, but I don't know if you remember the time they were at City Hall. They made an appearance.
Yeah.
Chum was
Yeah.
hosting. They had to cancel it because like Nathan Phillips Square was just full of screaming teenagers, and it was becoming very dangerous that they had to cancel. And actually on one of their albums, I think Dedication, there's a recording of one of the DJs from Chum at that time saying, "Get back!" Like it was a big thing, and they were very big. And I was going to marry Les McEwen, which didn't work out. And then just before COVID, he was appearing in Mississauga, and it was the Friday before the world shut down for a year and a half to 2. That my eldest daughter and I, we were going to go see him, but they canceled the event that afternoon. And then he died, I think, 2 years ago or 3 years ago at the age of 65. So I'll never see him on tour. But
that kind of super fandom. I mean, Taylor Swift has it now, that kind of football stadium filling popularity. But yeah, I remember them shutting it down in Toronto.
I remember because we didn't get the station, like whenever they were on any of the nighttime shows or whatever, having to go to a friend's house because we didn't get that station at home, that I would go to a friend's house to watch them in concert or whatever show they were appearing on. But yeah, sorry, we digress from the exhibition.
Well, but it was an important era in your life. I gotta say, I lived it with you. Oh my God. If you played, I think you had one album. And maybe another.
Nope. Your friend, one Christmas, gave our brothers the album that I had been wanting so much. And they didn't care about it. And if I wanted to listen to it, I had to pay them 25 cents to be able to play the album.
I didn't know this. Yeah. This was like underhand, this is like
so I think they made a small fortune off me.
Had I known as the eldest, I would have looked out for you.
No.
I was known to conk heads.
I think my jaw dropped to the floor when they...
You want 25 cents for this? I'll give you 25 cents.
You saw some pretty good acts at the grandstand too, though, right?
I know. And I'm sure a lot of people listening are remembering because it was like a magnet. Now we have, the Budweiser stage over in Ontario Place that attracts still great people. I saw Olivia Newton-John, and I saw Chicago and the Doobie Brothers. I remember sitting and watching Michael McDonald play the piano. He's always been one of my most favorite musicians, and just like natural piano. I'm sure I saw other people, but those are the ones that stand out in my mind. But
remember the bandstand too, which is still there, and I think there's still 3 shows, right?
There are. Yeah, I was looking at that to see who's playing, but nobody's playing on Labor Day. It's still a great honor for local bands to be asked to play there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the exhibition, like I said, I haven't been for years, and I don't know. I guess it's last time I was there, it kind of lost its magic for me. I don't know, but
I overheated. I got really, really hot. Ended up, it was a hot day, and I'm not, the skinniest person or the most fit. But the guys were going, they were much younger. They were going into the Better Living Center where there was a video game extravaganza happening. So I sat on a bench and I thought, I'm warm. And it was also that time of life. So it could have been a combo. But I thought, do I need to go to see St. John's Ambulance? Am I okay? So I just kept dumping water down my throat and I was fine. But I don't want to go through that again. So I'm gonna stick to buildings and go at my own pace, and they can go do whatever they want and meet me at the fountain. That was the thing. You always met at the fountain.
At the fountain, that's right. That's right.
That would be when we went with the little kids. You get lost, we're going to meet you right there at that big fountain.
And
trusting that they would be in a place where they could see it. We never lost anybody, though.
No.
We never did. It's pretty good. My favorite game back then was, beside the birthday game, was Pull a String.
Oh, Pull a String. I've totally forgot about that one.
And remember, there were like chords, and there were hundreds of them, and you would pull one, and they all felt weighted. So you think, oh, I got something good. And then you'd pull it, and it would be like a little whistle or something. A dinky little thing. And it was like, what? But there could be a really good prize, like a mega.
That was a fun game.
And it was like $1. No, back then it was probably 50 cents or 25. Yeah. Now it's probably like 5.
Yeah, but they must still have it. You'll have to let me know.
I will. I'll do a podcast live. Hi, I'm at the X. It's Labor Day. Oh, yeah. Dear. We had so much fun, and I'm looking forward to going again. now we park under the Enercare building. We don't fiddle around with parking lots. We just go, and then we're in the building and in the X.
Right.
So that is my favorite thing.
I think for me, probably the biggest hindrance of me not going, because I hate driving down that far into Toronto, and I hate taking the TTC there. I hate the crowds. And I know people do it every day, but I'm just not into that anymore. So I'll live it vicariously through you on the 2nd then.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm going into Toronto on the 30th to see something at the old O'Keefe Centre, now Meridian Hall. I actually thought that was part of Massey Hall. I was all excited, and no, it was a hummingbird the last time I heard.
Yeah, now Meridian Hall.
I know. So we'll be going there, and I think we're going to go extra early, like not even to get there in time for the show. Nick's, my son, younger guy, is coming along, and we'll probably have dinner down there and sort of land and park and stay and eat and then see the concert, because it took 4 hours the last time I came into town to see a concert. I don't want to miss it. So
no,
it's just gridlock.
Strategic whenever
and with
you
the
go
X
into
open
Toronto. Yeah.
now, with the X open, and traffic is crazy.
Well,
when we grew up in the beach, I remember when, I didn't mind taking the streetcar into town, but if you drove, you'd go along Eastern Avenue, and it was a breeze.
Yes.
But now they've messed up the Gardiner Expressway, so you can't do the ramp to Lakeshore. You have to. It's crazy. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah.
Who cares if concrete's falling on top of roofs? That's breaking car windows. I don't care. Give me back the ramp. I don't. That's just unfair.
Yeah, there's just no easy way in Toronto anymore, for sure. And I'm there every weekend, so it's not like I'm shy with the traffic and all that. It's just like, it's like, oh my
It's
gosh,
a lot
I don't know
of
how people
cars.
do this every day.
No, it's a lot of cars.
Yeah.
I think it's a mental health problem.
Yeah.
You do that enough and it gets to you, because you leave extra early, you're home extra late, you have a couple of hours to be with your family, you go to bed, and then you do it all again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the beauty of living in Niagara on the Lake. There's a lot of traffic and a lot of congestion in the summer months because we have tourists, but then they go, usually, when the Shaw closes in October, and then the town's really quiet.
Yep.
And we kind of get it back. There's still the odd tourists, but it's such they do come from the leaves too. But there's a period of time in there when it's very quiet, and you remember, and you sort of feel like this is such a beautiful place to live. I pinch myself every morning. I love it here so much, and I can wave at Toronto and the traffic and my friends.
Whoever's listening, you do go to our Facebook page and you become a follower or subscribe. Put in your, since we're talking about the X this week, put in your memories of the X. Because I'm sure there's a lot of different ones out there, right? Like these are just a few that have stuck out in our mind over time. And
what was your favorite food? Every era has a different food.
Yeah, that's true.
Chocolate. What was it? Deep fried Mars bars one year, and like the bacon, chocolate covered bacon. I mean, every year they've got a fad of some sort.
And one thing I always wanted, and maybe I only got once or twice, and that was probably later on in my life, married and taking kids, was the waffle with the ice cream and strawberries. Mm. But it was always kind of like a last minute, do we do it? Like on the way out, and we never did. So
Belgian waffles. Yeah. You can do that at home.
I know.
You can get you can.
I know I can pop a waffle in the toaster. No, but it's not quite the same experience as having it at the CNE.
You could pretend you're at the X. You can get the deep fryer going. There's a smell about the X. You walk off the streetcar and you inhale, and it's just like food is cooking somewhere.
Just saying the smell. Yeah, I mean, that smell, right? It hits
Everybody
you.
Listening is going, yeah, we know that smell.
Yeah, you're at the CNE when you...
And
or
the
any
sound,
county fair or that, right? And
you got the guy going across from the food building. Yeah, exactly. It's wonderful. And the guy across from the food building yelling "doggy, doggy." Mm-hmm. Remember him? That was near the tiny Tom Not Tim donut place.
That's so true. Oh, and the one thing I can remember, and I know we're getting up there, but remember that one thing we bought at the X one year? It was a steel ring, it was steel, big ring that had, I think, 5 different rings attached. And
I'm trying to picture that.
It was like in 5 different colors, they were plastic on the outside, but metal on the inside, and you would smack them with the side of your hand, and then you'd start spinning, and it would have them going. But we bruised our hand so much on this thing trying to get it going.
You're going to have to find a picture of that, because I kind of remember we came home. We weren't at the X, but I remember when you were little and we went to Fantasy Island in the States.
Yes.
Speaking of messing up your hands, this is a real diversion. We went to Fantasy Island, and I don't know if it's still even operational, but it was like an old West town, and they had all kinds. It was like before theme parks were a thing. We'd go to Grand Island, New York, as a family, and Wendy got one of these things again.
It was yours.
It was mine.
It was
I got
yours.
one of these things. I don't know why, but it was braided. It was like straw.
A magic trick.
It's like a magic trick. And you put your fingers in either side, and then you pull, and you can't get your fingers out because it's tightened. And Wendy practically, I can't even. She had
Henry's
like,
screaming now.
oh my God. It was like my dad had to pull the car over because I kept saying, push your fingers together. And she just kept pulling them apart further and further.
I had just woken up from a nap in the back seat of the Rambler.
You're probably like 3.
Yeah, and I put my fingers in, and I can remember, and you're saying, relax your fingers, and I'm pulling and pulling, and I think I started gnawing it off.
Went at it like a rabbit.
And Dad's like freaking out, like, what's going on back here?
Because we're probably not in the seat. We're probably in the back of the station wagon.
Sitting, exactly. Oh man.
Yeah. So when you're at county fairs or exhibitions, be warned. Know your toy. We come home with some pretty stupid things that looked really good at the time. That's part of the fun.
Still do.
I know. Whether you're walking an invisible dog or gnawing off a finger thing. But yeah, it was, that's just part of the experience. Anyway, oh God.
Well,
so
great talking again. This has been so much fun. Oh, it's therapy for us. I mean, it's just so nice to reminisce, and like we said before, it's a stress-free podcast, hopefully on the other end.
Yes.
And we just want to make you smile and bring back memories. And
I hope it sparks some memories for the people listening.
Yeah, for sure. Because we're having a hoot nanny doing this.
Oh, my God.
That's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole other podcast. We don't want to go there. Or else I will start singing. But we'll have to have, Just Beachy the musical one time. With our special guest. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for listening. We're always so appreciative that you've taken time to listen to whatever this was. And
until next week, have a good one.
Thank you for listening to Just Peachy. You want to sing us out?
Goodbye with Wendy and Deb on Just Peachy. Had to change it.
Okay, that's good.